Hi, it's Anne here, and today's video is my first update for my project pan for 2023. So I am doing this in the Team Project Pan style. I think I'm doing it very similar to what Haley did, I think a couple of years ago, where I'm kind of doing a full set of like face products, makeup, and I'm going to do sort of a quarterly refresh, like a full refresh, mostly full anyway. And so I'm only sort of focusing on products to sort of use them for a quarter, not necessarily finish up products, compared to my project last year when I was really focused on finishing up products. So let's get into those products. So the first item is my setting spray, and I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dewy setting spray. Definitely, I would say this is like halfway compared to where it was before, so we're like halfway done. This might be done in February. February is a short month, so I don't know 100% if it will be done in February, but if not, like early March, and then we'll be done. I don't know, based on the setting sprays I have left, if I will roll in a new setting spray or not. I'm kind of not in a rush to finishing them. I have an e.l.f. Dewy Setting Mist, which I normally use to like wet my brush. It's got a really crappy sprayer on it. I can maybe pot it into this. We'll see. Maybe that's something I could finish. That's my oldest one. Then I have a Wet n Wild Photo Focus one, which is pretty new. And then the newest two I have is I bought a duo of the Urban Decay All Nighter, and I'm not in a rush to use those up. I'll just use those organically. So last month this was 84.25 grams. It's now 71.31 grams. That's a difference of 12.94 grams. The primer that I'm working on is the Becca Backlight Priming Filter. I didn't put lines on this. I don't know why I didn't put lines on this, but I can see visually that it's definitely changed quite a bit. It's fine. It's definitely a very glowy primer, and it's so glowy that it definitely comes through on some of my foundations. It doesn't really do any sort of like blurring, or it does a bit of smoothing because it does have a bit of sort of moisture to it. It's a nice primer, but you know, Becca's no longer, so I'm not super concerned that, like, I won't be sad that I can't repurchase this, is what I'm trying to say. So last month this was 113.13 grams. It's now 106.1 grams. That's a difference of 0.03 grams. I feel like I'm going through this quite quickly, even though I am using other primers through other projects and series. So yeah, I do feel like I'm going through this quite quickly, which, like I said, neither here nor there. Ooh, having a hard time talking today. Maybe we should slow down. Take a breather. Let's slow down. So, foundation I'm working on, and this is a bit of a slog. So I have two more, like February and March, and then I'll be rotating items out. This is definitely rotating out. Part of me wanted to finish this, but at the same time I'm like, I'm not in a rush to like power through this because I don't love it. It's the ABH Stick Foundation in Kohl Beige. Part of it is, it says Kohl Beige, but it is kind of yellowy. It's not very cool toned. And I feel like right now my skin's been really, really dry. It is freezing cold here. It is so cold. I think it's going to be like -20 or something this week. Like it's real cold. The wind's cold, and it's like really messing up my skin. I'm like dry and flaky and patchy in texture, and this does not look good on that. When my skin's doing well, this looks fine. But with my skin being like going crazy, I'm not using this a whole lot. So last month this was 37.58 grams. It's now 36.96 grams. That's a difference of 0.62 grams. So right after I filmed my intro for this, I have all of these in like a little box, and I accidentally knocked that box on the floor. So luckily, like, the best thing about that, or the most lucky thing about that, is nothing full on shattered, which was amazing and surprising. But I did break the packaging on this. This is the powder I'm working on. It's the Fenty Pro Filt'r Soft Matte Powder in 170. And I don't know if you'll be able to see. I don't know if you can see up in like the hinge part, the plastic cracked and like broken half. So the one side is just like a pin without the plastic. So it makes me sad because I really like this packaging, and I was like, oh, maybe I can repurpose this in the future, like repress other pans into it. Yeah, not gonna happen. Makes me kind of sad because I like that this package has the little the little spongy thing. It makes it really good for traveling, but now that it's broken, I'm like, I don't want to take this traveling because I'm afraid it's gonna like break open. But yeah, I enjoy this powder. This is actually a really nice powder. It's a go-to powder for me. It's one that I like want to reach for, and I like this shade on my skin. So last month this was 75.63 grams. It's now 74.97 grams. That's a difference of 0.66 grams. Oh, I skipped a product. So I skipped up my concealer that I'm working on. So this is the Merit Complexion. They call it the Minimalist Perfecting Complexion Stick, and I have the shade Dune. I really enjoy this product. The more I use it, the more I like it. The only thing I would say is it doesn't last very long on my skin. I feel like after I apply it, a few hours later, it just seems to really like disappear. Like it doesn't last all day. But yeah, like if I kind of show here, like you can see the little dome is slowly working away, and this product is taking me a really long time to use, which is good because it's an expensive product, but maybe not good because it's a clean brand. So I don't know if I'll have issues where this goes off before I can finish it. But even though this is the smaller size, I can't remember if they did change this product and they made the stick bigger. I don't know if you get more product. I need to look that up. Or if it's the same amount of product but just like in a wider stick. I feel like it's more product because like the original version of this, like you get like no product at all. It's very, very small. But I'm just using it mostly as a concealer. I do sometimes use it. I've used it a couple times as sort of like a touch-up, like sort of when I'm foundation, no foundation kind of day, and then putting the powder on top. Like just dusting the powder, and it looks really nice like for a no makeup day as well. So I really like this product. It's just a shame that it's like so expensive for what it's worth, but because I like it, I could see myself repurchasing it in the future, even though it is pricey. So last month this was 39.17 grams. It's now 38.88 grams. That's a difference of 0.29 grams. Next up is my bronzer. So I am working on this Rimmel Radiance Brick Bronzer in the shade 002 Medium. It's not going to really show any difference. I will be throwing up photos as I'm talking, and this is a fine bronzer. I sort of stick to the lighter side right now. Yeah, like I like this bronzer. Do I love it? No, but do I like it? Sure. Like it's a non-offensive. I'm going back to my non-offensive term, because some makeup to me is just not offensive. Like I can just put it on and I'm like, I don't feel like this I really enjoy using. Like I'm drawn to it. I like wearing it. I like putting it on. I feel good putting it on. This is like, okay, this is the bronzer I'm wearing today. I like it, but I'm not like in love with it. And I'm not like, ugh, why am I using this bronzer? Why am I hanging on to it? It's just the meh. It's in the meh category. So last month this was 42.27 grams. It's now 42 grams. That's a difference of 0.27 grams. Definitely will be rolling this out after like the next 2 updates. And I know exactly what bronzer I'm putting in, and you guys probably know what bronzer I'm putting in too, if you follow my channel. So, next up is my blush. This is the Pure Anada Loose Mineral Blush in Camellia, and this was a sample I got, so that's why it's in this. It's actually a David's Tea tin. Can't really see it. The photo will show kind of like what's left. There's very little left. I feel like this should be done next month. Again, it could be kind of like the spray where it might not get done in February because February is a short month, and depending on what other products that I'm using. Again, this is taking a little longer because I am using other products, because I have a blush in my Pan That palette, and I'm also bringing in a weekly blush, and I want to make sure I'm using the weekly blush. So this kind of maybe takes a bit of a back seat. Also, it's a pretty intense color. So some days I just don't want something that strong, like that pinky pink. So I haven't been like, again, forcing myself to work through this, but like I could have finished this by this update. I just didn't. That's what I'm trying to say. So last month this was 15.97 grams. It's 15.88 grams. That's a difference of 0.09 grams. Next up is my highlight, and this is the Colourpop Super Shock Highlighter in Flexatarian. This also kind of had a bit of a casualty. I don't know if you can see. I mean, luckily it didn't like totally smash or break, but can you see that gap on the side? Because this sort of like all slid, kind of got squished. I kind of pushed it back a little bit. I thought maybe I might get close to hitting pan on this for this like first 3 months. That is not gonna happen. This is a very blingy highlight. I don't need to use a lot. I tend to use my fingers to apply this. I'm not going to hit pan on this in 3 months. That's not happening. Again, it is competing with other highlights that I have. But yeah, But I like it. It's really pretty, but it's very intense. Not necessarily something I want to wear every day because it's so intense. Last month this was 28.25 grams. It's now 28.19 grams. That's a difference of 0.06 grams. My eyeliner. So this eyeliner, I meant to go back to my video to see who it was that mentioned this. I'll put your name down below because I'm terrible at remembering names. But this is the Sugar Kohl eyeliner. What do they call it? They call it the Kohl of Honor Intense Kajal eyeliner in 01 Blackout. And this brand, Sugar, is actually an Indian brand. And this is a really nice eyeliner. When I went to their website, this is like labeled as like a popular item. I'm like, yep, I totally get it. Like it's a bestseller. I could definitely see myself. I want to, when I kind of get over this no-buy thing, I want to look at this brand a little bit more and maybe think about purchasing stuff, some stuff from their website. Because this is a really, really nice liner. It's very black. It's definitely very waterproof. Like my makeup has a hard time taking this off. I do find on my inner, so I line like my inner lash line and it doesn't always stay there, but like I have yet to find a eyeliner that stays there very well for me. I kind of have a bit of watery eyes at times, but like on the lash line, this is a really nice liner and it stays really, really well. And like I said, it's hard to get off because it stays so well. I think I got this in Ipsy. Maybe BoxyCharm, but I think it was Ipsy. So last month this was 4.97 grams. It's now 4.89 grams. That's a difference of 0.08 grams. Next up is my mascara. So this is the Heimish Dailyism Smudge Stop Mascara. It's a tubing mascara. I quite like this. I find that I can get this to build up. Like even though it's a tubing mascara, I do like the wand. It's got a nice little curved wand. I don't know if it's focusing on that at all. There we go. I want to do some comparisons with this and the Merit, like some real head-to-head comparisons to see what they're like side by side. I am wearing the Merit one today. So the Merit one is the one that's in my weekly Shop My Stash. And I felt like it didn't build up as much as what I can get this one to build up. But yeah, I like this because again, it's a tubing mascara, so it's easy to get off. And I do feel like it seems to hold up okay in the wintertime for me. I personally like to stick to or use waterproof mascaras in the wintertime because like I said, my eyes water when it gets like windy and cold. But so far, this seems to be doing pretty good. Like I don't notice any flaking or smudging with it. But I do want to test it a little bit more just to make sure. But so far, I feel like it's holding up quite well. And I like this mascara. I think it's pretty affordable too. So last month it was 17.79 grams. It's now 17.48 grams. That's a difference of 0.13 grams. Next up is my eyebrow products. So I have two eyebrow products. First is the pencil that I'm using. This pencil is par for the course with eyebrow pencils for me. The weight has not changed, but I do know that it is going down. I like this pencil. It's fine. Again, it's maybe a little thick for my preferences in terms of the shape of it. I would have preferred if it was the micro one. But yeah, so far, so good. It's a fine brow pencil. This might be something that I might just keep using. I'm not 100% sure yet if I'm going to rotate this out or not in the 3 months. So last month this was 8.68 grams. It's still 8.68 grams, but I think I have the picture of what it is in my book, and I think it's changed. I haven't measured it yet, but I'm pretty sure it's changed in length. And then I'm also using the ABH Dip Brow Gel in medium brown. This is okay. It's definitely drying out. I feel like after the 3 months, I might be decluttering this because I feel like when I'm using it, it's really only like the very tip of the brush that's getting product on it. So I could see myself maybe decluttering this at the end of sort of this 3 months, or at least at the end of this year. I think this will be kind of done. I won't call it declutter. I'll call it an empty because I've used it quite a bit. So last month this was 11.99 grams. It's now 11.97 grams. That's a difference of 0.02 grams. And last up is my body shimmer. This is the Soul Body Shimmer Dry Oil in Sangria. This is a product that I do want to try and finish, so this is going to stay in the project until I finish it. I have used it a couple of times, and it's still like I took out this is probably a quarter of the glitter left. I took out so much glitter in this, and it's still super glittery. Partially because the thing pulls up whatever glitter stuck to the bottom. So I don't know, maybe as I work through this, whatever, it's fine. It's a fine product. I do like the quality of the product in terms of the body oil. It feels really nice. I don't know if I'll use it too much over the winter time right now. I want to try and use this in the summer and see if I like wearing it out in public. I want to try and have sparkly skin in the summer, like for reals. I don't want it to be imaginary Anne to do that, or like fantasy Anne. I want real Anne to do that. So last month this was 110.6 grams. It's now 107.18 grams. That's a difference of 3.42 grams. And that is it. That is all the products that I am working on with my project pan. Again, this is somewhat similar to what I did last year in terms of just doing all face products, and I really like doing this. I feel like that works for me. I'm not doing too much stuff. I'm not too overwhelmed by it. And the only thing that it is pretty tricky to use this plus my Pan That palette, like my face palette, and a weekly product. Like, these products aren't getting used a whole lot. Like, I get 2 to 3 uses of each product, if that makes sense. Whereas previous years where I was panning, I might have been a bit more like wanting to finish. I might have been a bit more focused. Like, for example, a blush, I might use it every day of the week, or like 5 days in the week, or the majority of the week. Whereas now it's like I use this maybe twice a week. So it's not getting a lot of use, but I'm getting sort of a lot of use across all of my products, which is working for me right now because it's really getting me back into like figuring out what's in my collection and how I want to move forward. So if you like this update, feel free to give a little thumbs up down below. And if you haven't already, I would love it if you subscribe to my channel here in Toronto, Canada. I hope you're doing well, and I'll see you sometime soon. Bye.